Good morning, good evening, good day, wherever you are in the world. Megan Mitchell here. It's Christmas Eve, and I haven't made a video in a few days, actually since last week. With everything going on in the holidays, I'm visiting family, but I wanted to jump on because I've been thinking about our latest update in O News. And we are in a really unique time where it's almost like where the river and the ocean meet, the freshwater and the saltwater meet, but they don't actually cross together. There's a definitive line. And that's kind of where we're at in Victory with Ash and in our old platform on Passive. We are being updated in both platforms. If you are in Victory with Ash, if you have joined someone, you will get updates through there, but we are still receiving updates through on Passive. And what I'm thinking about is the dissemination of information and the accumulation of information, the acquiring of it, and how you get that. And I wanted to talk for just a minute about how unique this current situation is in O News. We are getting ready to find out more about what happened behind the scenes and on Passive. And for those of us who have been on this journey, we know that there have been many ups and downs, and maybe you have looked up on Passive, maybe you've looked up Ash Mufara, and you might not be getting the whole picture. Why is that? I wanted to talk for a second about being careful about where you're getting your information. You know, most people, when they go to find out about something, they get online and they Google it. And that isn't necessarily the best source, the most truthful source. Why is that? Well, first of all, negative bias. We are psychologically prone to look for negativity, and also confirmation bias. We tend to find what we are looking for. We look for things that confirm what we already believe. And if you don't have an inside scoop on this whole journey with Ash and the company, you might just Google it and you might miss out, because you're going to get information that is designed by the algorithms for clicks, for views, because that's what the internet puts out. It puts out whatever's going to get the most sensationalized views. And the emotional aspect of it is that we as human beings don't look for things that are positive. We're not attracted to things that are neutral or positive. We're attracted to things that are dramatic or maybe negative. So when you get online, that's probably what you're going to find. And that is unfortunate. But so I would ask you to think about, when you're consuming information about something, think about who it's coming from and what their motive might be. You know, a lot of times the motives are just to get clicks, just to get views. Maybe they're monetizing off of what they're talking about. I've been following a few different pages on social media, on Facebook, and I'm noticing that there is just an absolute wealth of negative and misinformation about what happened with On Passive and what is happening in Victory with Ash. And I would encourage you, if you are joining Victory with Ash, or if you are still following this journey, that you should be very careful about where you're getting your information, not to be misled. Also, I wanted to say something about just the whole idea of storytelling and thinking about whose story it is to tell. If you are spreading information, is it your story to tell? It's incredible to me how strong-willed Ash has been throughout this experience, at not jumping at every chance to come out and tell his side of the story. He was somewhat restricted with legal, from the legal team, about what to say or what he could say. But also, we know that when somebody is, spreading misinformation about you, it isn't always best to bark back at the barking dogs. It's sometimes better to just sit back and let them say what they will. Because the people who are following this journey closely, those of us who are close to Ash, we know the true Ash, we know the true story. And we know that it is not our story to tell, and it is not our place to make assumptions. Ash is going to get a very unique opportunity now. He's telling us that in O News, that he is ready to tell his side of the story. Allow him to tell his side of the story. What's worse than when you have something happen in your life and someone else comes out and tries to control the narrative, tries to tell the story? You know, it's like someone who has an announcement, something big to announce, or maybe a birth, or maybe a wedding, and they're worried about putting out information because they're worried that somebody else is going to come out and put out the first picture of their newborn. That's sad. That's not good. It's not our place. We need to make sure that the person that the story is about is the one telling the story. So be careful about sharing information that you don't own. I think that's really crucial. So I hope this makes sense. I would encourage you to think about what you share, think about where you get your information, and just how blessed we are to be at a point where we are seeing the river and, you know, the ocean meet. We are seeing the old and the fresh meet with on Passive and with Victory with Ash. We're told that we're not going to take anything into Victory with Ash from on Passive, but now we are at a unique place where Ash, who has been so strong and steadfast in, not feeling the need to jump out at all of the dogs that bark, and he is ready now and able to come out and tell the full story. So if you want the full story, make sure you're getting it from the horse's mouth. Make sure you're getting it from the people who own it, and the people, those who are close to him. I think another thing is that throughout this journey, Ash has been able to sit back and watch who has misrepresented him and who has been quick to jump on that negative narrative, and those who haven't, those who have remained steadfast and who know who he really is. If someone is truly in your circle and they're truly your friend or your comrade, they know you well enough to not be affected by all of the barking dogs. Have a blessed Christmas Eve, and I wanted to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and Christmas Eve if you celebrate, no matter where you are, and I will be seeing you soon.